Just outside of Martindale, Spring River Estate sits on the banks of the San Marcos River, and this is the time of year that residents there enjoy the river most.
Well, if you consider that right now we're coming upon winter, it's beautiful, peaceful. It gives you a real reprieve from society. It's like a different world when you come down here.
But come next spring, Heller's world will drastically change. Another tubing operation owned by resident James Paul Moses will join Don's Fish Camp near the neighborhood.
It's become an increasing attraction for tubing, which is great. It's a great form of recreation. However, the drunken, disorderly conduct has made it far from the family-friendly operation that it was previously.
Behind me is the future location of the second tubing business. Right next door, Spring River Estates.
If all the activity that goes on right now for the existing tubing operation instead comes through our neighborhood, it's going to absolutely kill our quality of life.
But Don's Fish Camp owner Don Nelly is quick to point out the difference between his tubing operation from the one in Spring River Estates.
We don't really get in the subdivision or anything like that. It's our own private road, and it really doesn't have anything to do with the neighborhood.
Nelly says he does the best he can to keep his part of the San Marcos River clean.
We really can't control what happens up the river. It's just what happens here. I do respect the river, and I love it.
Back in his neighborhood, Heller says he wants to control some of what's to come.
We'd like to encourage the sort of decisions that will make things nice for everyone.
Moses was unavailable to talk about his proposed tubing business. The River Access Association and Caldwell County officials are planning to meet with him later this month. Reporting for Bobcat Update, I'm Ken Zuniga.
With the constant back and forth, commuters have to deal with potential obstacles, occasional traffic jams, high gas prices, and overcrowded buses. Getting to class on time can be a big hassle for anyone who chooses to live out of town.
It's just all distance related. You don't always make it on time. And the buses, sometimes you just miss the bus, and then you're like, well, I still got to walk now, or I could wait and see if the bus maybe gets here and I can still get there before, but I usually just walk.
Commuting by bus from Austin or San Antonio can cost up to $9 per round trip, which is on top of the almost $80 bus fee that students pay at registration. Driving isn't much easier.
And the only places that you could park are like 10 miles away. Instead of building up, like they could, look at this parking structure right here, like they could just build it up, and instead, like they're like, no, we're just gonna go clear some more land and like put like another 4-story thing. Man, just make it like a 10-story parking lot.
However, a little bit of travel is worth it to these Texas State students who make the sacrifice to live in a city they call home.
I work in Austin, my boyfriend works in Austin. I mean, our life is there. The decision to go back to school was kind of spur of the moment.
Commuters hope these issues will be resolved soon, but until then, they'll just have to make do. For Bobcat Update, I'm Leocadia O'Brien.
The city's director of communications, Melissa Millenkamp, says Stage 3 water restrictions aren't necessary in San Marcos, at least not yet. Millenkamp says, for the time being, the city will remain at Stage 2 because San Marcos residents have been doing a good job conserving water. Also helping is the city's multi-million-dollar surface water treatment plant, which now provides about 70 to 80% of the city's water supply.
Our average per capita use every day is 114 gallons per capita. And that's very low compared to the state goal, which is 140 gallons per capita.
Millenkamp says San Marcos Stage 2 water restrictions are more strict than other cities in Texas. In San Marcos, Stage 2 water restrictions consist of watering lawns or using a drip irrigation system only once a week. San Antonio's Stage 2 water restrictions allow handheld watering at any time, and a drip irrigation system is permitted within certain hours of the day. San Marcos residents have stayed well within these restrictions.
I think that San Marcos residents contribute and are very aware of the value of following the drought rules, and the fact that we have reduced our reliance on the Edwards Aquifer significantly is a big factor.
The drought has also affected tourism in San Marcos. Resident Michael Raylick says the lack of rain has affected his snorkeling adventures.
When the aquifer's up in the 700s, it's flowing better, and there's more people flipping over in their canoes and stuff, and I can find their their, you know, sunglasses and stuff. Nice Oakleys, Ray-Bans, stuff like that.
These next few months will give the City Council a chance to develop a new plan if the situation changes. Mellencamp says that if the Edwards Aquifer falls below 640 feet, Stage 3 restrictions could be implemented. For Bobcat Update, I'm Katie Haney.